Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz from Oz Mechanics, and we're working on 2013 Chevy Sonic 1.4 liter turbocharged engine. So this customer complained, said that he took it to AutoZone, got a code P0171, and that's a lean condition. Um, so in AutoZone, they just put their scan tool on there, and it says most related fixes. Um, Showed a little list on what it could be. Um, one of it was the intake manifold, or yeah, it was the valve cover, actually, the valve cover. He said he already replaced that, so he went down the list and it showed injectors. So the people from AutoZone were about to sell him some injectors, and luckily my customer's smart enough and he didn't go through that route. So here we go. He brought it over here. We're about to check it out. Let's see what we can find out. I went through this already. I already know exactly what we're going to. Luckily, I had one of these guys that came in. I'm gonna consider him a buddy because he helped me out. He's a tech here in Pasadena, Texas. His name is Richard. Big ups to him, man. You know, we're talking for a little bit. He came over to give me some tickets for a concert today, and as he came by, he was asking what kind of jobs I was doing. I showed him the Sonic, told him what was going on, and he told me his experiences, and one of them was it. So let's get to this, and let me stop yappering, and we'll see what we have right here. So let's start off with first and foremost, we got the codes that we have here. Turn the key on the on position. Let's see if I can focus. So there you go, your P0171. That's gonna be your fuel trim 2 lean. Basically, it's just getting too much air. Other code that we have is P0299, engine under boost. And this was the one that kind of, if you see this on another vehicle, you're not going to correlate that with this. But we'll talk about that in a second, okay? So we got this evap purge solenoid vent control circuit. And it shows it again, P0496, a different one. But it is still the purge. So when we think of let's look at this main one. When we think of the P0171, we're thinking of a vacuum leak, like AutoZone people said. Basically the injectors are clogged up. What else can we think of? Mass airflow sensor. You know, there's different stuff to look at. So let me show you these the problem causes or this code on this vehicle, and we'll probably do some bidirectional tests to see what I found out, what was a problem. We're gonna be looking at this sucker right here. You know, spoiler alert. We're gonna be looking at that. We're gonna turn on the engine. We're gonna try to listen for some leaks or anything like that. There's a loose vacuum hose or so on. But let's go to the front and let's see what we have. So here's that wonderful Ecotech 1.4 liter engine. So when he came by over here, he was saying most of these tubes are actually messed up. Let me turn off the engine so you can hear me. He said mostly what messes up on these engines, you got these intake tubes right here, but this one was intact. I was doing a little bit more research. I was actually on the 1.8s that go back on this side where it gets a little bit hotter. They start cracking. Another area that messes up on these Ecotech engines, that little sucker right there. A little valve right here. Easy way to check that is by putting your finger in that inlet. I don't know if you see it right there. I know it's kind of dark, but you put it right there and it sucks it in. That's gonna be your issue. And remember when we were talking about the purge valve? Purge valve is back here. Let's see if I can get a light. purge valve is that little sucker right there. And guess what? That sucker is connected to the intake. So I want to look at that. Normally speaking, this this valve right here is supposed to be closed, you know, at right, it should be closed right now, in a closed position. Well, I was looking at normally closed. This turns on to suck in exhaust fumes, or not exhaust fumes, it's gonna be gas fumes from the gas tank. So what we can do, we can actually look at our fuel trims. We're gonna look at long-term, short-term fuel trims, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen if they're high right now. And then what we can do, we can disconnect that hose right here, the one that hooks up to here, to the intake, and see if it makes a difference if we just plug it up. So let's check that out. Alright, we gotta crank this sucker on. So let's go to live data. We'll go to fuel trim data. And so we got fuel trims right here. Check that out. It's trying to correct itself right now. So we got long-term fuel trim at 20%, and then short-term, well, it's actually correcting itself. So it should go down, you can see. We're gonna see when it stabilizes. Well, it's still kind of at -19. Yeah, it's still too high. I think it's because we had a surge from the engine right now. But let's do this. We're gonna look into that, because you see right now it's still at 19. I'm gonna show you what I did before I made this video. I kind of plugged up the hose, and you can see it going down. It's going down just a tad bit right now, but not sufficient. The values on short term, they're kind of going in and out. It's not staying subtle right there. So let's go over here. Cool thing is my scan tool is wireless. A nasty glare. So you see we got 16 right now. So let's try this. We're gonna disconnect this hose. Okay, now we're plugging it up with my finger. Look at the fuel trims on short term. It should fix up the long term. You can see the long term is actually going down, and we want it close to zero as possible. Because basically zero is showing that we're not adding fuel, we're not taking away fuel. So I want this number to go all the way down. And even on fuel trims, if we have a positive -5, that's a fix. We don't want it at 20, 19, 18, high like that. But positive -5 That's a fix right there. So anywhere between -5 to +5, we should be okay. 0 is just perfect. So slowly but surely, sucker's going down. And I'll let you know one thing. This purge valve is still sucking on my finger. It shouldn't be doing this. Not this long. And if I take my finger off, there's going to be suction right there. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If I take my finger off, that fuel trim is going to go even higher. So try and keep it on for the meanwhile. But overall, this is probably gonna be the fix right here. As soon as I switch up this this purge valve, and I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert as well. I already bought the valve from the dealership, and by taking this sucker off, like I told you, this is supposed to be normally closed. Put a vacuum pump on it, did some vacuum, and guess what? It didn't hold any vacuum. Put it on the new one, and it held vacuum right there. Or just the easy dirty way, just suck through the little hose inlet pipe right there. Yeah, that was pretty easy. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually put the brand new valve on there, and we're gonna give it a twirl. But here, I'm gonna show you one thing. I'm gonna let go of my finger right here and look at the fuel trims. They're gonna jump up. Here it goes. Check this out. Look at that. High up there. Even if we put this sucker back in there. So there you go. That's what gives us the +20. So we're gonna hook up this new purge solenoid or purge valve. I'm sorry. We're gonna hook it up, and we're gonna give it a little test drive. And if I upload this video, it's just gonna show a fix right there. Alright, so I just want to thank Richard for the little heads up, man. Thanks for that. And I'm just gonna give you all some little pointers on these vehicles right here. So if you have a Cruze or Ecotech, here's some little problems that these have. This right here is gonna be the outlet for the water. That busted. So you gotta get this whole tube right here. Get the light right there. That tube, we only saw at the dealership. Like I said, from the valve cover, you gotta buy the whole valve cover for that. And that little sucker, the purge valve. I've ran into those problems night and day. Every single time. Hey, look at the values right now. 29%. Yeah, that's gonna be our issue. Alright, so if you like this video, please thumbs up, share, and like. Hey, I know I'm almost at the 14-minute mark. I was talking a little bit more, but I just wanted to get more in depth with this so I can show y'all a little bit more. I wish I could go a little bit more, but I think my YouTube limits are 15 minutes. So hopefully later on, if I get more subscriptions and more likes and all the support from y'all, I can actually make longer videos for longer case studies. So please, y'all, put a little thumbs up out there and have a nice day. Take care. Bye.